asked you to send your best gaming setups, and today I'm ranking them and showing you guys how to improve. Let's get started. Trio setup is like decent. It's not a bad setup. It just needs some work. So I would rate this probably a 6.5 out of 10, and it could be a 10 out of 10 in a few ways. He's got one small desk and then another desk holding up the rest of this. So he needs a new desk and a new area for his setup. I get the idea of like streaming and having a background, like a wall, unless like you're trying to show your PC in the background and stuff like that, then I can understand it. What I recommend is just buy like one big countertop and just make everything work on it. You know what I mean? Okay, now this is sick. Okay, Felix, this is clean, dude. This is clean. I love the color schemes, man. Damn. Dude, you guys always surprise me some crazy setups like this. This is clean. I can't tell if it's symmetrical with the wall, with the way that the picture you took it, but the shelves don't look symmetrical. I could be wrong. If they're not symmetrical, I'd fix that. But other than that, I mean, the aesthetic of like the big window, small PC, the white on the wood with the greenery, I love this. I think this is really, really clean. The way you hid the cables through the wall, like I think you might have just went over behind this plant and I can't even see a cable. Yeah, I would recommend maybe a coiled cable for your keyboard. But other than that, I mean, it's so unique. Like the whole setup is just super unique. We're gonna move on to Plexify. This is actually really nice. Yeah, these panels became very popular last year throughout TikTok. And honestly, they're really clean. I love that the way that the RGB kind of bounces off of them. It makes it look like the setup has so much depth. And I think that's like a big thing, is when a setup has a lot of depth and color coordination, a lot of times the setups look really good. Although I do think that your setup does look nice, there's a few things I would change. And this comes down with like where your placement of stuff is. It just feels really cluttered. And maybe that's just me thinking that, and maybe chat might feel the same way, but it just seems super cluttered. Like you got speakers, you got plants, you got controllers, you got a PS5, you got a PC, and it's all like this. You know what I'm saying? So if there's some way you could maybe like put the PS5, you know, maybe on behind the monitor, or the controllers could be like on the side of an Alex short or something. Cause I can't really see like what your setup looks like. I don't really know. But maybe you can get a controller stand to charge your controllers, something like that, and move them away, or even a drawer might help. But yeah, the clock is really unique. I think this is cool. Color scheme, the color scheme's great. Cable management's good too. I think genuinely I want to say a 7 or 8. But the problem is like, it just seems really cluttered. Like it seems very close together. So that's like the main issue with the setup. Other than that, it would be really good if you just decluttered a little bit. Okay, so your cable management is not bad. It's actually pretty good for the most part. I mean, you have your monitors mounted. I mean, I can't complain. The setup is really clean. I just wish I had a further back image of the setup, because I want to see more of like area you're working with is. For this setup being 15 years old and you have everything for a custom loop and you're working on a custom loop, like that's incredible. And I don't even have a custom loop now. And I don't even know if I want to, but like seriously, like that's crazy stuff. Good stuff for you. More power to you. I love how you keep the color scheme consistent. For 15 years old, this is crazy. AMB setup, dude. Bruh. This is crazy. Honestly, it looks really nice. I think everything you have going for this setup is just really nice. I mean, the symmetry, the aesthetic, the wall panels with RGB behind them, everything. I feel like everything just fits together. I'm sad to hear that you're moving, but this is an incredible setup. I mean, the space you have in this room is a lot too. I mean, you have a massive space. I mean, your setup looks great. I think everything you have going on, from, you know, your beautiful setup to like the aesthetics of the actual room, it's wonderful. I think like the little galaxy projector, like the plants in the corners, like the pictures of yourself personality wise, like all around, it's just an all around good room. Like from personality to cleanliness to actual aesthetics and the way you put stuff together, definitely 10 out of 10. I haven't seen a single problem. I'm getting a new PC in 2 weeks. Here's my monitors and everything. Okay, perfect. I would say the biggest thing to this setup that has the most issues is literally, quite literally, just the desk is too small. I genuinely believe that like this setup has a lot of potential, but it's just like there isn't really a color scheme. The desk is too small. It's kind of thrown together, I'd say. You're probably right. I mean, it has all the essentials it needs. Monitors are mounted. Cable management is okay. It's at least tidied, I guess, I would say. Maybe just like getting a new desk and centering your monitors, because like right now, like if you look at this chat, okay, chat, this is what I'm going to tell you. So look at it from this angle. It looks normal, right? The monitor in the center looks normal. It looks centered. It looks like you'd play on that. Now look at this angle. Look at how far right it is. I'm playing my game. I got you. Like, you know, it's hella deep to the right. So I would say like maybe just like, you know, somewhat centering this to what you're playing on would be better for your neck health and setup. But it's not bad. I think even just turning it a little bit would help, but it's not a bad setup. And I appreciate you submitting. It's looking okay. I think the biggest thing is 1, new desk. 2, maybe just like get a new mount. Maybe it's just the mount that's causing the issue. There's a Dark Wolf setup. I don't think the setup's bad. I mean, it's not because of the peripherals or anything he has. I think it's the organization of the setup. I always say that. You have like these props in your desk, which is fine. Candle under the monitor. I would move the candle off to the right side. Maybe. Number 2, I would say your PS4 is not a bad thing. And if you're doing some light gaming, this isn't a terrible setup. I love how you cable managed this, but at the same time, I feel like there's just too much stuff on the desk for it to really be like clutter free. I would say the only thing, like the main thing to change is just rearranging the setup. I mean, like there's a lot of stuff out of place. Yeah, just make it more organized is the main thing. I mean, maybe getting like a little shelf right here for your controllers to go on, plus your games and stuff like that right there. Or like moving the candle over more to the right and putting this thing underneath your monitor. I don't know, something like that, just to move it around. All right, Dark Wolf, thank you for submitting. I really appreciate it. Moving on to Funny Monkey. This is my first serious setup. Any advice? Honestly, it's not bad. For your first like serious setup, this isn't bad at all. I think it'd be cool if you did something like with this wall, maybe just diffusing this light here. And then on top of that, what I'd recommend is moving this arm somewhere else. Maybe where this plant thing is, because I feel like this corner just doesn't have any purpose. So what you can do is if you put it on this backside of this corner, it would be over your keyboard. And I would say just put it over your keyboard or above, like how you kind of have it here, but behind the monitors, so it's like a little bit less. Then let's talk about like a couple different things you can add for your setup that will help this. Maybe a headphone hanger here in this corner. Other than that, I would say wall mounting or get a monitor mount for both these monitors. I feel like this space is perfect for what you're trying to achieve for your setup. I would say a 5 or 6 out of 10. That seems pretty valid for the setup. TvUQ. This guy's setup. All right, let's see. It's got a lot of potential besides what the hell is going on with this wall. The color scheme is really nice and I really like the aesthetic it's got going on, but the wall takes it away. But I love how deep your desk is. You have a lot of room. Really nice. Besides that, it's not bad at all. You know, the only thing I would say is obviously fix this wall, paint it some way, and then maybe like put some posters or something that might make the setup more roomy and stuff like that. It might really help out the way your setup looks. I would say this is probably like a solid 6 or 7. Cable management solid. Color scheme is pretty consistent. If you enjoyed that video, watch this one next. And don't forget to follow the Twitch down below. See you there.